What's up, my lovelies? How are y'all doing today? I am doing just fine. I am blessed and highly favored on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. It's January 19th, 2023. Can y'all believe that we are already 19 days into 2023? I do hope that everyone is having a great start to the new year. I am, and I am blessed. I came on here today because I wanted to talk to you all about coping with loss. This today is something that I am currently dealing with. It is a death date. It's been 4 years today that this person passed away. And sometimes it can feel like you are actually reliving it. Your emotions, you go through all type of stuff. And it comes through waves. Everybody grieves differently. And grief comes in all different forms. It comes in all different ways. People grieve differently. And yes, we do learn how to cope and live with loss. And sometimes, in doing so, we have to go to therapy or counseling to deal with that. Some people deal with it that way, which is nothing is wrong with that. That's okay. And then you just, after you go through so many, you can become numb. I know for me, that's a definite. But like I said, today, it's been 4 years today that's somebody that I really loved passed away. So today I'm dealing with that. I've already had my emotional breakdown earlier. Like I said, it come in waves and you just don't know. And like I said, everybody deals with grief differently. For me, it's the dates. I always remember the dates, and it's the dates. And I will say that January and February are hard. I have some more coming up. I had some back-to-back deaths between 2017 and 2019. And a lot of them was in January and February. So I will say that these months are hard. They are hard, I will be honest. And the dates can be even worse. So I know that loss can be difficult, but it's okay. It's okay to cope with it. It's okay to still cry 5 years later, 4 years later, 6 years later, 10 years later. It's okay. That person is someone that was near and dear to you, that you cared about. So that's okay. It's okay to be emotional after them being gone for so long. There's nothing wrong with that. And again, we all have different ways to cope. Some ways can be good ways, some ways can be bad ways, but you cope. And some people may say no way is a bad way. But and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I will say, and loss can come, it doesn't have to be in death. It doesn't have to be in the form of death. Loss can be the loss of a friendship. Loss can be the loss of a husband or a wife. Loss can be in the form of, you having to cut ties with somebody in your family. So it doesn't have to just be death. The loss don't just have to be death. It can come and, you just not dealing with that person no more. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you go through that. Breakups is a form of loss. I remember some years ago, one of my best friends, true story, we had a whole conversation about it. And she literally was like, it's like a death. because you are going through the stages of grief. You're going through the stage of grief when you break up with somebody. It doesn't matter if you've been with that person for 6 months, a year, 4 years, 5 years. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you were married to that person or if y'all were just in a long-term relationship. It was a relationship. And now you guys, you have had to part ways. So now you have to deal with that. And you do go through the grief stages. So that's why I said loss can come in different forms and different ways. I know through the years I've had to deal with, cutting off people and losing friendships. Some are easier than others. But either way, it's not really an easy thing because you are literally having to deal with, okay, in this case, the person is still here, but now when you used to calling them and you used to talking to them about certain things, and that was your go-to person for this, now you can't call this person anymore for this because now y'all are not friends anymore. Y'all are not talking anymore. Or y'all are not together anymore. So you can't just pick up the phone and call them. So that and that could be a trigger. That can make you go into a whole emotional moment. So, and you do have, when you go through grief, you have it comes in waves, like I said earlier. And you don't know when it's going to come. You don't know what's going to trigger that wave, what that's going to trigger that emotion. It could be a song. It could be a dance. It can be a memory or whatever. And like I said, regardless of if the person is here or not, if you're no longer friends with this person, that is still, you're grieving that friendship. You're grieving that relationship. And it goes both ways. And I, for one, I know both ways. I've had to deal with losing people, transitioning to the other side. People that I love and care about, that I grew up with. Some of the hardest losses in my life I dealt with in 2017 through 2019, some of the hardest. And today, I will be honest, the person that passed today 4 years ago, that was one of the hardest. So it's even worse when it's somebody that you were really, really, really close to. And even if you didn't grow up with the person, y'all got close in a short amount of time. And, you begin to really care and love for that person. And then, boom, they're gone. And now you're left to deal with the grief of it. And we go through those stages. And that's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to shout. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to have every emotion that you having. And it's okay to let it out. You should let it out. You want to let it out because it releases you from that. And just because, you're still crying over somebody 4 or 5 years from now, like today with me, it doesn't necessarily even mean you're still grieving. You're just coping with the loss. So that's when I say that, that's where I'm coming from. Because most times, we as human beings, as we go through things, we learn how to deal with it as it goes. Which is where coping with it comes in. Coping with it comes in. That's basically what I'm saying. So anyone out there right now that's currently dealing with a loss, a current loss, I want to give my condolences to you all and just let you know that God has you covered. God is there with you. I can tell you from experience, I can tell you from dealing with so many myself that it was God. First and foremost, that got me through dealing with a lot of the losses that incurred to me, and not just within the last, not just from 2017 to 2019, but throughout my years of being here. You need that support. And another thing that some people distance themselves, some people, you don't talk, you separate yourselves. And I'm not going to say it's not a good thing. For some people, that's actually a good thing, to be honest. For some people, it's actually okay for them to regress and just not talk to nobody for a couple of days or a couple of weeks because they're trying to process it. But you don't want to stay in that space for too long. I know with a few of mine, I was in that space. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to talk. I'm like, don't just leave me alone. And that's understandable because that's a part of it. That's completely a part of it. And that's, again, another way that people deal with it. They don't want to talk to nobody. They don't want to deal with anybody. They just shut everybody off. And that's okay. But just don't stay in that place for too long. And most times when our family members and our friends are doing that, it's because they're processing it. Basically, it's not easy to process death. It's not easy to process loss, regardless if the person died or if you're leaving a relationship. Regardless if it's a relationship or friendship, it doesn't matter. It's still a loss. So as human beings, are we equipped to deal with that? I can honestly say we're human beings. So yes, it is okay to go to therapy. Yes, it is okay to talk about somebody. Talk to somebody. Not talk about them, but talk to somebody about how you're feeling. That is quite all right. There is nothing wrong with that. It's good to have that support system. You have a good support system, you are in a good place. I know for me, I have a good support system. When it happened, every time, great support system. I will say that for a whole fact. So, even when somebody's in the process of transitioning and that can be tough. I know that when one of my grandparents died, we watched him slowly leave. I don't know if anybody has ever dealt with that, but that's still in my head. Like, I still remember to this day how my granddaddy looked. I watched him decline. So, and I'm only sharing this with you guys and with you all because I understand. I get it. Coping with loss is not easy. And you don't forget. And you definitely don't forget when you watch somebody slowly decline, and they're slowly in the process of going from this side to that side. And it's gotten to the point where I can almost recognize it because that's how much I have dealt with it. And so, like I said earlier, numb. All I can say is just numb. Literally numb. It's bad enough when you lose somebody you really care about. It's worse when it's back to back to back to back. And that's pretty much what happened to me from 2017 to 2019. It was back to back. And I was just like, oh my God, like, what is really going on? But unfortunately, death is a part of life. Unfortunately, loss is a part of life. Losing friends is a part of life. Everybody that's in your life is not in your life for a lifetime. You have the seasonal people, and then you have the lifetime people. And sometimes we can get those seasonal people confused as a lifetime person, and they wasn't meant to be in your life forever. They were just meant to be with you for a season and keep it moving. They're not supposed to be in your life. And sometimes that, okay, I need to I need to let this person go. And I'm a firm believer it's not hard for me to be like, okay, I'm just like that. That's just me. Everybody not like that. But I've gotten to the point in my life where if we are not benefiting each other, and it's a one-sided friendship, this is not a friendship. This is not a friendship, period. So some got to give. Why continue to stress yourself out when you're not being fed properly with this particular friend that you're friends with? Most of us know when we have come to the end of a friendship and we don't want to accept it. I know it's been times I didn't want to accept it, but I just then got to the point I'm just like, you know what? I just got to let it go and move on. I wish them well. I wish them nothing but love. I still care about them, but now I care about them from a distance. And I don't have to deal with them no more. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. To protect your mental and your sanity, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you go through a period of where you're feeling sad and you're feeling like, man, this is just messed up, that's fine. That's grief. That's what that is. That is grief. So, like I said, for me, all these, anytime I go through it, anytime, number one, God, and I will tell y'all, my mother, she is my number one supporter all day, every day. Okay. And we pretty much went through a lot of the losses that I'm talking about. For me, we have dealt with them together. Okay. And it was not easy. I'm going to tell you like that. It took me a long time to get to this point with dealing with some of them, because it was just some are harder than others. And that's just a fact. That's a whole fact. And that's okay. If you still grieving and you still having waves, it's okay to be emotional. Let that emotion out. It's okay. It's okay. That's somebody that was a part of your life. And just because they're not here with you anymore on the physical side, they doesn't mean anything. They live through you. I mean, they live through you. And that's okay. That's quite all right. We lose our family members, we lose our loved ones, our friends, but they're living through us, and that's quite all right. For real. We keep them alive through their memory. We talk about, and it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to talk about them. It's okay to talk about them at Thanksgiving dinner, at Christmas gatherings. There's nothing wrong with that. And I know that holidays can be difficult. They can be the worst. For real. Especially Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, and I'm going to be honest. It hasn't been the same for me in a long time. And I know that's probably the case with a lot of people. That our Christmases aren't the same because some of us, we don't have, our grandparents and our are anymore. And there's certain people that's not there anymore. And it's just like, you just don't even want to do. Sometimes you don't even want to do Thanksgiving. You don't even want to do Christmas. You don't, you just don't want to at all. And it's just like, for me, one of the people, and I'm just saying this because I want to share this with you guys, because I know it's some other people out here that's probably going through the same thing. One of the people that I'm talking about, we shared a birthday together. We were very close. We grew up together. He was my first cousin, but we grew up like brothers and sisters. I tell you what, my birthdays, they still cool, but it's difficult. I ain't gonna lie. So that can even be something when you share a birthday with that person, you know, and that can trigger something. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I just wanted to come on here today and just let you guys know it is okay to that cope with loss. It's okay. However you're coping with it, it's okay. It's okay. If you need to get help, if you need to get therapy or you need to go to a psychiatrist, whatever it is that you need to do for you, do that for you. Get that help that you need for you. Because, of course, this is something that we may have to, we got to learn to live with it. You got to learn to live with it. I mean, and that's pretty much what it is. We're learning how to live with it and deal with it when it comes. So, and there's nothing wrong with it. Just we're going to do it. You know, like today, like I said, it's been rough, but I'm okay. You know, coping with loss is never easy, regardless if it's a death or a friendship, a marriage, it does not matter. It's not easy either way. I mean, this is just all the way fact. It is not easy. So I just want to say, I want to give my heartfelt condolences to anyone that just recently lost anyone. I pray for you. I pray that you have the peace that surpasses all understanding. I'm praying for your family and the loved ones and your friends. And I'm just praying that you all will get through this. And anybody like me today that's coping with loss, that on those death dates and on those anniversaries and birthdays, because that's when these are the days when it's the worst. Death dates, anniversary, birthdays, and holidays. Anybody that has ever lost anyone know exactly what I'm saying. And that's what I was saying earlier. Them can be the worst times. Cause you like, oh my God. And sometimes you're not even looking forward to it. Cause you're just like, you know what? I'm just ready for the day to be over with. You know, because what the day is. You know, so it's completely understandable. Like I said, get the help that you need. You know, learn to deal with it. You know, get your outlet. Find your outlet. You know, and find a positive outlet. You know, get your support system. You know, make that phone call to that person and say, hey, I'm having a moment. You know, I need you right now. You know, whatever it is you need to do, that is fine. But it's never easy. It's not easy to cope with loss. However it's coming to you. It came to you as come. It's not easy. I know that. So I just want, again, for anybody that's going through it or they having the moment like I was having earlier because of what today is for me, I'm here for you. I'm praying for you. I understand. So just know that God is with you and you can always go to him and pray. He is there. Even if you don't have nobody else, you got God, because God got you covered. So, and like I said, just get the support you need. Get that support system. If you need to go, I can't stress this enough. With everything with the pandemic, and we suffered so many losses during the pandemic, and it's still going on. Mental health is really important, and it's even worse now with people coping with loss, because a lot of people have just died from COVID, you know, and you had to, one day that person was here and the next day that person gone, and they went from completely being healthy to being gone in a matter of a day. This is what we've been dealing with since the pandemic. So that's another thing. You know, it's not easy to cope with loss. I mean, we're human beings. We gonna have human emotions, and we gonna be human, because that's what we supposed to be human. We're human beings. We are. I know I'm not perfect. I can't speak for nobody else, but I'm a human. I am human, and I am me. And I can tell you that it is not easy, So, and even now, coming into the new year, we had a few, you know, we've had a few celebrity deaths, more than a few. So I just want to pray for all of them as well. I mean, it's hard, and then some people say, well, why is it so hard? Why are you, some people say, why are you making a big deal about a celebrity? Well, guess what? They are people too. They are human beings. And a lot of us grew up watching them. Like Barbara Walters. We grew up watching her. We watched her interview. It's not, I don't know nobody in my circle and nobody in my family that ain't at least watched probably one interview with Barbara Walters. She was the best. Like, and man, she was doing it for a long time. So again, that celebrities are people too. And it's not easy to deal with it, but we learn to cope. And however it is that you cope, I just want to continue to pray for you and just let you know that God is here for you. So I just wanted to wish everyone a blessed new year and blessings, love, peace, and happiness to everyone. Blessings, love, peace, and happiness to everyone. I love y'all. I see y'all in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.